My mother came into my bedroom on the night before my wedding when I was 19 years old. I was lying in bed, unable to sleep, my mind moving through scenarios I could not quite imagine, my body tense with an anxiety I did not have language for. My mother sat on the edge of my bed, and for a moment she did not say anything. She just sat there, and I could feel the weight of something in that silence. I could feel that she had come to tell me something important, something that had probably been told to her on the night before her wedding, something that had been passed from mother to daughter for generations. My name is Hannah. I grew up Old Order Amish in Holmes County, Ohio. I married at 19 and left at 27. On this channel, I tell the stories that lived behind closed farmhouse doors, and today I want to talk about what happens in the most private moment of a girl's transition into womanhood. I want to talk about what mothers tell their daughters on the night before the wedding, and what that conversation reveals about how women are prepared for the lives they are about to live. My mother started by asking me if I was nervous. I said yes. I remember my voice sounding very small, and she nodded, as if this was the response she expected. Then she said something I have never forgotten. She said, "What happens tomorrow night is your duty as a wife. It may not feel good at first. It may feel uncomfortable or even painful, but this is what marriage is. This is what you have agreed to." I did not understand at that moment what she was preparing me for. I knew, in a vague way, that something physical would happen. I knew that a man and a woman's bodies did things together, but I did not have a clear picture of what that meant. And my mother's words seemed to suggest that whatever it was something I should expect to be uncomfortable with. She continued. She told me that my body now belonged to my husband. She said that as a wife, I would have a duty to be available to him. She said that this was not negotiable. She said that some women enjoyed this part of marriage, but most did not, and that was normal. She said that what mattered was that I understood my obligation and that I fulfilled it without complaint. I remember thinking, at the time, that my mother was being very blunt, very practical. I did not understand that she was delivering a message that would shape the entire trajectory of my marriage. I did not understand that she was telling me, in effect, that my body was not my own. I did not understand that she was preparing me to disconnect from my own experience, to endure rather than to feel, to see sex as something that happened to me rather than something I participated in. But she was not done. My mother told me about the pain. She said that the first time would hurt. She said this was normal. She said that my body would eventually adjust. She said that I should not be alarmed by this pain, that it was expected, that it was part of the process. She did not say anything about my husband being gentle. She did not say anything about taking time. She did not say anything about my comfort or my experience. She said only that the pain was normal and that I should expect it. Then she told me something that I think was meant to be reassuring, but that I now understand was actually very damaging. She said that after the pain, there would be relief. She said that once I had given myself to my husband, once he had taken what was his, there would be a kind of peace in that. She said that understanding my duty and fulfilling it would give me a sense of purpose. She said that many women found satisfaction in meeting their husband's needs. I want to pause here and say something important. My mother was not trying to hurt me. My mother was doing what she had been taught to do. She was passing on the wisdom she had been given. She was preparing me for what she believed was the inevitable reality of married life. She was not inventing cruelty. She was maintaining a system that she believed was right and good and necessary. But the message she was delivering, regardless of her intention, was clear. My body was not mine. My pleasure did not matter. My comfort was secondary to my duty, and my role as a wife was to accept these things without question. My mother continued by telling me about children. She said that children would follow. She said that I should be prepared for that. She said that my body would change, that I would experience pain during pregnancy and birth, that I would be tired all the time. She said these things as though they were simply facts of life, unchangeable realities that I should accept. She did not say anything about my choices. She did not say anything about having some control over how many children I had or when. She said only that children would come and I should be ready. Then she told me something about my role as a wife. She said that my first job was to keep my husband satisfied. She said that if I did this, he would remain faithful. She said that if I failed to do this, he might look elsewhere. She said, very specifically, that it was my responsibility to keep him interested in me, to keep him happy at home, to make sure that he had no reason to stray. I remember, in that moment, feeling a strange flutter of fear in my chest, because what she was telling me was that my worth as a wife was determined by my ability to keep my husband satisfied. She was telling me that if he had an affair, it was my failure. She was telling me that his behavior was my responsibility. After I left that marriage and that community, I realized what my mother had actually done that night. She had prepared me, very thoroughly, to accept a marriage based on obligation rather than equality. She had prepared me to see my body as a resource for someone else, She had prepared me to blame myself if my husband was unhappy. She had prepared me to endure. But my mother was not unique. Every girl in my community received a similar conversation, or a similar message, on the night before her wedding. The specific words might have been different, but the substance was the same. Girls were told that marriage meant duty. Girls were told that their bodies belonged to their husbands. Girls were told that their pleasure was irrelevant. Girls were told that they were responsible for keeping their husbands satisfied and faithful. I have talked to women who left Amish communities, and the stories of these conversations are remarkably consistent. One woman told me that her mother said, "A wife who will not do her duty is breaking her marriage covenant." Another woman said her mother told her, "Your husband's happiness is now your responsibility." Another woman said her mother warned her, "If you do not keep him satisfied, someone else will." What strikes me about these conversations, now that I have had years to think about them, is what they do not include. They do not include any message about mutual pleasure. They do not include any message about the importance of the daughter's own happiness. They do not include any message about consent or negotiation. They do not include any message about the daughter's right to say no. They include only messages about duty, obligation, responsibility, and the girl's role in keeping a marriage together through her own compliance and availability. After I left, I had to process what my mother had told me that night. I had to understand what message I had been given, and what that message had meant for my marriage. I had to work, in therapy, to separate my mother's intention from the impact of her words. My mother did not sit down that night intending to set me up for a marriage where my body was not my own, but that is what she did. What I understand now is that my mother was caught in a system that she did not know how to break out of. She had been told the same things on the night before her own wedding. She had lived a marriage based on obligation. She had never experienced anything different, and so she passed on what she had been given, what she believed was truth. But understanding that does not erase the impact. Understanding that my mother was also a victim of this system does not change the fact that her words shaped my marriage, my understanding of my own body, my sense of my own worth. I want to talk about what I wish my mother had told me that night. I wish she had said that sex could be something I wanted. I wish she had said that my pleasure mattered. I wish she had said that I was allowed to say no. I wish she had said that marriage was a partnership between two people, not a transaction where one person's body belonged to another. I wish she had said that I deserved to be treated with kindness and respect. I wish she had said that a husband who truly loved me would care about my experience, not just about meeting his own needs. I wish she had said that I was allowed to expect things from a marriage, not just to give things. But I also understand that my mother did not have the language for any of these things. My mother did not live in a world where these concepts existed. My mother was doing the best she could with what she had been given. What I want to say to the girls and young women in conservative Amish communities who are about to be married is this. What your mother tells you on the night before your wedding is rooted in a system that was designed to control you. It is rooted in a system that taught your mother to see her body as not her own, and your grandmother to see her body as not her own, and so on, for generations. You do not have to accept this system. You do not have to believe that your body belongs to your husband. You do not have to believe that your pleasure is irrelevant. You do not have to believe that you are responsible for keeping your husband satisfied and faithful. You do not have to accept that marriage means obligation without choice. What you deserve, what every woman deserves, is a marriage based on mutual respect and genuine choice. You deserve a partner who cares about your experience. You deserve to feel pleasure in your own body. You deserve to say no. You deserve to have your wishes matter. The night before my wedding, my mother tried to prepare me for a life of obligation. But what she actually did was show me, very clearly, that the system I was entering was not designed for my benefit. And that understanding, though it took years to fully form, is what eventually gave me the courage to leave. This is my story. If it stayed with you, tell me in the comments, and subscribe if you want to keep hearing the truth from behind the prayer cap.